Hello, my little beautiful people. You're not my people. I'm not a king. I don't know why I said king. I'm not a queen. I am a queen. Here. Girl, yes, queen, but whatever. What is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. Internet. Internet. At the real mother effing modem. For real. Like, it puts out enough internet that the TV can talk to it, that I can talk to you guys, and other people can still do things on the internet. It is amazing. It is the end of our eBay internet, which was amazing and awesome. And I'm gonna get in touch with the guy and see if he wants to like buy this back for half price or something, sell it back to somebody else for more. I don't care. But this is something we no longer need. So, I'll tell you our internet journey. I'm sure you've heard me complain about it, unless you're new here. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm gonna start spending a lot more time here, and you should subscribe and come along for the journey. I think that might be the first time I've told somebody to subscribe. I had a whole video on like why you shouldn't subscribe to my channel, but that's been put on private along with all the rest of them until I feel more connected to myself. All right. So here's a little story time. We're going to talk about the internet. So it's story time. Oh, by the way, I dyed my hair. You can probably tell. Remember, like, I don't know, the last video, I was like, my hair is dirty so I can bleach it without burning it off my head. That was the goal. And it was getting really hard. It's summer in the deep, dirty South. And that's my ice maker making noise. But so summer in the deep, dirty South means that it's really, really complicated to find that perfect dirty hair to bleach, but not too dirty, but not too clean. So I ended up having to bleach. Okay, so you can see my scalp is still kind of dyed in places. So I bleached my hair. I actually got Amber to help me. She did an amazing job. So I bleached my hair and then I parted it down the middle. And this side is blue. And this side is purple. So it is actually two different colors. I really like the way this blue came out. So I've used this blue before and it did not come out well at all, but Amber did a really fantastically good job. So good for her and good for me. Awesome. So now she has a job. I was like, you're gonna do this like all the time. She was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. Anyway, I'm just waiting. It'll be fantastic when my scalp is finally no longer speckled. Right afterwards, it was completely done. Like, I looked like I had a doll head. You know how they paint the heads the same color as the hair? That's what I looked like. Coffee. Anyway, so let's talk. Internet. So, we came from a world that had neighborhoods and people and a normal life, right? Right outside of New Orleans. My eyebrow, look, there's something weird right there. Anyway, I can't get her to like just go straight. She always curves down right there. I don't know what her deal is. Anyway, so I came from that world. It was fantastic. My children grew up in that world. They never knew that there was life before the internet or without the internet. And when I was doing searches of the places I wanted to live, this is basically what I did. I knew that Amber's job, Amber works about 30 minutes away from here. Her job is pretty rural. It's in a little town, but like it's rurally located. And I kind of looked at that. I didn't want her where, okay. Woo, the coffee. It's the coffee. Yeah, it's not the coffee. We'll go with it. We'll blame the coffee. It's the coffee. Okay. Here we go. So, where we lived before, I grew up. And it was St. Bernard Parish. I grew up in St. Bernard Parish, and I worked in Jefferson Parish when I worked. I haven't worked in a very long time because I got really sick. That's a whole other story. And then I decided to be home to take care of things and myself. And my children both have different needs in school. One excels extremely academically, and so she wasn't really getting what she needed artistically or creatively, and they were really kind of funneling her down one path that didn't really fit her. And she's extremely shy and she's gotten so much better. Like, I know people think like, why would you homeschool? And like, how would that make it better? But it does. And that's a whole nother story. We should be making a list. What is happening here? Okay, so we're going to talk about, oh, I do have a health update. So we will actually talk about that. Health. And then we'll talk about homeschooling. But right now we're talking about the internet. Okay, so here we go. I worked about 30 minutes away, and when I worked, and Amber and I actually worked at the same business. So we got our jobs after Katrina. I got my job 5 months after Katrina. So the job that I had when Katrina hit ended, unfortunately, because my boss committed suicide. Which is like it's beyond, I don't know. I feel like I'm smiling, but I feel like I'm smiling because I have a lot of trouble, like, like when emotions get too, like, I don't know, it's like I just kind of like, everything's fine. So anyway, that job ended. I continued to work with his family for a while, and then when that ended 100%, I needed another job. Amber had just started at this company. It was a geotechnical engineering firm. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I think I don't let my brain think about certain things. So anyway, Amber had just started at this company. She started at an entry-level position in, like, we did testing, and she was a rolling limits is what it's called. It's a test that you do on soil, and she was rolling limits. And so she was like, dude, anybody can do this. You need a job, come work. It's really good benefits. It's really good pay. And it was at the time, at our age and with my experience, whatever, it was awesome. So I started to work. Well, I went to interview for them and I got a job, but actually they were like, wait, you know how computers work and you've used certain programs, then great, we're actually going to use you someplace else. So I started working with Amber, and I was working in Jefferson Parish, living in Baton Rouge, and driving in. Then Amber and I got our first apartment years later, years later. So couple of years, 2 years, year and a half, I don't know. We got our first apartment, and we lived literally, like, I'm not joking, 5 minutes from work, like right down the service road. So it was awesome. But it wasn't really a good place to live, and our children were young, and the school systems weren't great. And I was like, no, this isn't going to work. So we started to look around for a place where we could use the public school system and not feel scared for our kids. And we wound up going back to St. Bernard Parish where I lived, and literally, and I keep saying that, we lived right down the block from my house, and we had an apartment for a year, then we bought a house, and we lived right down the street from where I grew up my whole life. So there was, back to the internet, 10 minutes later. They had UVerse was available. We got UVerse. We had the whole little package. It was fantastic. You have pretty much unlimited internet. Just here you go. There's the internet. And I believe that it cost us, I don't know, because we had our TV package. So we had like cable, and we had the internet. And I think it cost us like, I want to say $100. I think we had the phone, the TV, and the internet. And I think it was like $110. Unlimited internet. Here's your TV. We did not have a DVR. We couldn't pause our TV or any kind of crazy stuff. It was just TV. And was about $110. Okay, so then we move. And when we move, I'm not sure if I'm going to get my steps for this hour. I have to check. That was a weird pause because I wasn't sure what was happening. I couldn't really tell, but I do. I have my steps for this hour, so we're back. So then we moved, and when we went to move, I called to cancel Uverse. Well, pause, rewind. When we started looking for our house, that's what I was at. Okay, I did this thing where Amber was like, "Oh, look, we can move to Kentwood." Kentwood is where Britney Spears is from, by the way, guys. No shade. If you have billions, you can live in Kentwood and have a great life. But I don't have billions. So for us, it was like this is our budget. Let's look around. And yes, in Kentwood, we could have gotten more property and probably a bigger place and a pond. But we would have been so far away from anything. And our big town would have been where Amber works, which is a tiny rural town. And it would have been about 30 to 45 minutes away. So I kind of did this triangulation thing where using Amber's work, I searched for places that were 5+ acres, that were 2+ bedrooms. We really wanted 3 bedrooms, but I was willing to go down to 2. We actually wound up with 3. We have a 980 square foot house, but it works. And everybody's got their own space. And we have the art studio out in the world, and Amber's got like a shed now. So when you start calculating that in, it gets a little bit bigger, but whatever. Anyhow. So we were looking for at least 2 bedrooms, at least 5 acres. There had to be a house, and there were other requirements so that we could get a traditional home loan instead of like some kind of weird buy your land separate from your house situation. Anyway, so we were doing all of that, and I found this place, and I really wanted Amber to not have an hour-long commute, an hour and 10 minutes. And a lot of the places, even though they were technically maybe a 45-minute ride, if she got off around traffic, that can turn into a much bigger situation. So it was kind of weird. And then I kind of like did all the crime research and the like demographics, because I really wanted an area that it's kind of funny because a lot of people where I grew up when I was young, it was 98.7% white people. And a lot of people after Katrina were really devastated that it kind of there was like an upheaval, and it kind of mixed around the neighborhood. So when we went back, I was thrilled. I think it is awesome to see a new generation where kids have friends of all shades, where you have basketballs, games going on every corner, and it's all people. Like, I love it, but I know a lot of older people, and even some people my age, who are racist as fuck, still get really upset. Like, home's just not home. Well, yes, it is, and it's 10 times better. It's 1,000 times better, and now it's better for everybody, so fuck yeah. Anyway, so I really wanted an area that was not all white. And I wanted that for several reasons. I didn't want a bunch of racist neighbors. I mean, it's kind of hard. You're in the South. There's a lot of it. It's not even, I mean, there's a lot of overt racism, but it's not even overt racism. It's like a latent sleeper racism. Like, they're not burning crosses and like throwing trash, but they still have views that are like, ooh, that's kind of fucked up. Like, really step into the new world, just saying. So I wanted a kind of already evolved area, and I found where we live, and I've also I was not looking for like a gay nightlife. I wasn't looking for like clubs, but I wanted to know, that there were at least gay people in existence. I just wanted a more diverse area, and I found this little town that actually was kind of at the, I guess what you would say, like the leading, like kind of in the forefront of diversity in our area. Despite the fact that it is a little town, and there is still a lot of microaggressions and like a lot of strangeness. I come from New Orleans, where there are still, I'm not saying there's not racist people, but there's a lot more diversity, sexuality, and different races and stuff. And it's just a much more, for me, it's always been a much more like laid back interaction of like, doesn't matter who I'm talking to. If you're nice, then I'm going to be nice, and we're all having a good laugh in the line, waiting for whatever we're waiting for, doing whatever we're doing. It's not like that. It's really kind of weird, but it is way better than most places. And they will loosen up. It's just that it takes them a minute. Like, they're like, wait, are you talking to me? Like, chill? Like, what's happening? Like, it's kind of a weird place. But when you look at all the areas, it was actually one of the first places to desegregate its schools. There are quite a few prominent gay community members, so it kind of fit the bill. And also it had great crime rates. So I was like, this is kind of awesome. Like, which makes sense. It makes sense that if you're at the forefront of diversity and trying to include everybody, you would have a more peaceful existence. That does make sense. Like, if we stop trying to oppress and everybody raises everybody up, then everybody wins. Just saying. So that's where we were at. That's what was going on. I found this place. I was like, this is where I want to live. And at the time, I did check the internet. It was like, at first, it was like, this is how I did it. It was like, distance from Amber, amount of land, amount of bedrooms, the community, and then, because having a great community doesn't mean shit if like I can't, like if it's like a 1 bedroom, 1 acre, that doesn't work for me. So then it was the community, and then it was like the amenities, which is like the internet. And they were like, yeah, AT&T, totally great. So when we actually moved, I called Uverse. We signed our paperwork on May 31st to sell our house. We moved in with my mom and dad, and we were supposed to move into the new house at the end of June. And then that got pushed to right after July 4th. She wanted to have the 4th of July here, okay? And then that got pushed, and it kept getting pushed. But anyway, so May 31st, we signed the paperwork, we moved in with my mom, and I call Uverse to suspend my plan so that I can move it, because it's all like, oh, moving? Take Uverse with you. Okay, don't mind if I do. Thumbs up, let's do it. They're like, sorry, can't get Uverse there. What? What does that mean? What do you mean I can't get the Uverse there? AT&T does service most of this area, but not my area. Okay, call around, nobody. There's no cable, wired, broadband, internet available to me. I am too rural, too out there. So I do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions, find out that the satellites kind of suck. They're way expensive. You don't get a lot of internet, and they suck. So that wasn't going to happen. Well, we homeschool, so I needed the internet. I did wind up finding a couple of months, maybe the month after we moved in, that AT&T started having this. It's basically one of these, but it's not supposed to be mobile. It's called a home hotspot, and it's a little bit bigger than this. It's sitting down there. If I was more prepared for this video, I could grab it, but I'm not, so I can't. Anyway, basically looks like this, but it's bigger. And it has internet, But are you ready for this? Are you ready for prices? I'm going to give you prices. Throw some numbers at you, baby. It cost $100 a month, plus taxes and all the other bullshit, but $100 a month for 50 gigabytes. 50 gigabytes. Now, at home, our first home, we had unlimited internet. We averaged about 130 to 160 gigabytes a month, just using it for Netflix and YouTube and whatever. So 50 gigabytes. And we internet school. So like live classes, streaming videos, Blackboard where they have to interact, all of that takes up internet. So basically we paid $100 for school internet and we did not touch it outside of school. And that is because every gigabyte you go over is $10 per 1 gigabyte. Astronomical. I kid you not when I tell you that if it was like a time when they had tests coming up or a lot of like online classes, or if it was like a lab, sometimes in science they'll have labs where they go online and they have to like, do their, what's it called? Like their experiments are done online and there's a lot of streaming. We would have hundreds of dollars worth of bills because once you hit 50, it is literally $10 for 1 gigabyte. You could download a like album for like $40 to listen to songs if you wanted to, but we didn't. We only used it for school, but it was rough. It was so hard. And we were constantly going through our like phone internet because we get like 6 gigabytes to share. And like being put on 2G so that text messages don't go through. It just sucked so bad. And then a couple of months ago, I found this guy. He came from eBay. Awesome. I paid $50 for him. And then it's $70 a month. And I was like, whatever, it's $120. Let's give it a try. I don't like that noise. And it is unlimited internet. The problem with it is that this little gadget isn't very strong. His signal isn't very strong. He can only do, like, he slows down dramatically if more than one person is using him. We had him pinned up on the wall. I took it down, I should have showed you. Pinned up on the wall so that they could get to it in their bedrooms. But it was like impossible to use really well. Now we did manage to use about, like, you couldn't use it for like the TV to watch Netflix or anything like that, but you could use it, like she could use it for school if it was sitting right next to her computer and nobody else was on it. So my plan was to pay for this guy and get rid of him, but I was stuck in a contract with him until August. So I was like, that's fine, we'll keep him. So even with that, we were using about 160-ish gigabytes. So $170 for about 150 gigabytes, right? $170 a month because you have to have the internet to internet homeschool. That's just part of life. Okay. So the plan was in August to get rid of the AT&T hotspot and only have him. It's not the best plan, but because he's not the best internet, but it was gonna work, right? It's better than nothing. $70 unlimited, but limited because this dude himself, he's awesome for what he is. This is a Netgear little mobile hotspot. Dude, if you travel and you need to be using your laptop, he's awesome for one laptop. So he's unlimited, but limited by his capabilities, if that makes sense. Then I found out that AT&T has fixed wireless internet. Found this out a while ago, kept calling. There was a guy who was basically renting the tower and doing fixed wireless internet around here, but he didn't come to my area, which is fine because AT&T does. So today that guy, that real life modem, that actual Uverse item is in my house. He came and installed it, got a fantastic signal, and now, are you ready? We were paying, let's recap real quick, $100 for 50 gigabytes with just the AT&T at a overage charge of $10 a month. $10 a gigabyte. So $100. It was often $150, $170 just to go to school. Added this guy so that we no longer had overages. $170 for about 100 gigabytes. $170. About 150 gigabytes, actually. I'm sorry. Guess what we get now with that dude? 340 gigabytes for $60 a month. $60. We are about to go down $110 and get double what we've ever used. Plus $99 install charge. I don't care about that. That's fine. Just saying. How amazing! We're on the internet. The real internet. And it goes fast. And my TV talks to it. And my phone talks to it. And it can connect all sorts. Now when people come over, I can actually give them the passcode. I used to be like, I'm sorry, you can't use our internet. Do you know how weird people look at you when they're like, I can't get on your internet? And I live in the middle of, like, it is rural. I live camping. I say it all the time. I love it here. It's beautiful, but I live camping. So when people get here, a lot of times they can't even get a very good signal. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I can't give you the internet. Like, I know I have it, but I can't give it to you. In the summertime, if a guest was here and I knew they weren't going to be here very, like, more than a day, I would give them the internet because it's the summer and we're not schooling. But that's June, July. We go back to school in August, and I was like, I can't let you use the internet. It's so rude feeling because it's the internet. That's like how you're nice to people these days, right? But no. Not how it is. So now we have internet, and that is the internet story, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah. I feel like I want to talk to you guys about other things, but this is an internet chat conversation, and we already went like way off for like 10 or more minutes. So I feel like I'm gonna save some other things for other story times. I have a health update, but I'm not 100% sure what it is because I have to go to another consult, and then I will 100% be giving you that update because it's a fucking big one. I was about to say freaking, but it absolutely deserves an F-bomb right there. It is a fucking big one, y'all. It's a big health update, and it's serious, and it's kind of messed up. I'm fine, and I'm going to be fine. I'm actually going to be better than fine once we get it all figured out, because now there's actually something to figure out. But, okay, I'm getting into it, but I'm not going to get into it now. It's a big health update coming. If I don't hear something soon, I talked to my doctor on Friday. She was like, I'm going to set up this consult. If I don't hear something from them soon, I will go ahead and do the update with as much that I know, but I'm thinking I will hear something Monday or Tuesday, and I will be able to give you the entire update all at one time, and it is a game changer, and I will talk to you guys later.